Well done. 4, roger that. Sorry, Chief. No way, man.
After you have placed the C4, press the right mouse button to switch to the detonator.
Enemy activity. Do you come on the road? Roger that. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Hostile vehicle spotted. Over. Enemy forces spotted. Hostile enemy car spotted. Hostile enemy car spotted. Hostile force spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Requesting ammunition. Over. All clear. Position under control. Enemy armor spotted. Hostile armor sighted. Over. Hostile armor sighted. Over. Hostile armor sighted. Over. We've lost control. Enemy armor spotted. On the ground. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy activity. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Do you copy? Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy tank. Enemy forces over. All clear. Enemy forces over. Position under control. Out. Enemy infantry spotted. I need a medic here. Artillery, your area.
UAV online and transmitting.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy infantry spotted. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. All clear. Let's move. Sniper spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy forces spotted. We've lost control of an outpost. Hostile armor sighted. Over. Enemy tank is inbound. Over. Hostile armor sighted. Running dry. Need
The
ammo.
artillery nearby belongs to your enemy. Destroy it to prevent the enemy commander from using strikes on your team.
Hostile armor sighted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Post is being overrun. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
UAV online and transmitting.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Enemy forces spotted. Hostile vehicle spotted. Over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Hostiles on the ground.
UAV transmitting.
All clear. Artillery, your area. Out. spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. We've lost control of an outpost. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy units on the move.
Ah, que tanto, sai daí tanto.
Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Thanks. All clear. I owe you one. Under control. Out. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. I'm bingo on ammo. Do you copy? We need support. Do you copy? Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy spotted. Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted. Infantry spotted. Enemy forces over. Enemy forces over. Sniper. Thanks. I owe you one. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy sniper. Sorry. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. I need a ride. I need a ride. Give me a ride. Thanks, Jim.
UAV online and transmitting.
Enemy forces spotted. Do you copy? Enemy forces spotted. 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 Enemy infantry spotted. Infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy troops. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Hoisting ammunition. Over. Hostiles on the ground.
On this mark.
We need ammo. Medic. Artillery, your area. Thanks. I owe you one. Okay. All clear. Position under control. Out. We need ammo. Requesting ammunition. We need ammo. Sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted.
UAV
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. I need a ride. Hostile armor spotted. Enemy troops inbound. Over. How about some help over here? Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy units on the move. Sniper. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. How about some help over here? Enemy units on the move. We need ammo. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Hostile armor sighted. Enemy forces spotted. 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 Enemy sniper spotted. I owe you one. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. All clear. Position under control. Out. You got it. Give me a ride. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Position cleared. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. activity? Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy units on the move. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Do you copy? Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Enemy infantry spotted. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy car spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. On the move. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. We got hostile armor. Enemy activity. Do you copy? We need ammo. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. We need ammo. Enemy units on the move. Enemy armor. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy units on the move. 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 Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? On the ground. Check. Got it. Enemy forces. We got hostile armor. Enemy armor spotted. Thanks. Hostile armor spotted. Okay.
Online and
Enemy tank is inbound. Over. Enemy unit on the move. Enemy troops. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. All clear. Position under control. Enemy troops. Hostiles on the ground. Enemy infantry spotted.
online and
Enemy infantry spotted. Artillery, your area. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Sniper! Enemy activity. Do you copy? Hostile forces spotted. Over. Supplies in your position. Enemy forces. Over. Roger. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry lost control. Enemy infantry. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. We got hostile armor. Do you copy? Outpost is the enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
online and
Hostile armor sighted. Over. Thanks. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy car spotted. Hostile on the road. Enemy activity. Do you copy?
UAV online.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy armed. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile forces. Over.
UAV online and transmitting.
Enemy tank is inbound. Over. Forces spotted. Enemy armored. Snipers under control. Good work, man. Enemy forces. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. All clear. Position under control. Out. We're losing this battle.
Online and transmitting.
Control restored. Well done. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Hostile armor spotted. Over. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Cleared and under enemy control. Sniper spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy unit. I need a ride. Sniper. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Artillery, your area.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Enemy infantry spotted. 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 Enemy forces spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy infantry. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Artillery, your area.
Meu Deus.
Are you going AWOL, soldier? Do not leave the field of battle. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Hostile on the road. Enemy infantry spotted. Supplies at your position. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Where are you going, soldier? Return to your post or you will be... Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy units on the move. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy troops identified. Enemy troops spotted. Hostile enemy units on the move on the ground.
UAV transmitting
Enemy activity.
on
Enemy troops. Enemy troops identified. Artillery, your area. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy troops. Enemy forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Requesting reinforcements. Over. Running tank over. Where are you going, soldier? Return to your post or you will be shot. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted. All clear. Position under control. Out supplies at your position. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy activity. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry. infantry
Frag
spotted.
out!
Enemy unit, over.
Frag out!
Do you copy? Artillery, your area. Position cleared and under control. Enemy infantry spotted. 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 Enemy forces, over. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Bingo on ammo. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Go! 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 Roger that. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Thanks. I owe you one. Running dry. Need ammo. Over. Follow me, soldiers. Thanks, Jim. I owe you one. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy troops identified. You copy? Sorry. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted and under control. Enemy infantry spotted. 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 Spotted. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. We've lost control of an outpost. Enemy forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Good deal, thanks. Running dry. Thanks. Good deal, thanks. Requesting reinforcements. Enemy troops.
UAV transmitting on this
Enemy
mark.
activity. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry on the ground. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy troops. Hostiles on the ground. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostiles on the ground. Hostiles on the ground. All clear. Good deal. Thanks. Enemy troops. Copy.
UAV transmitting on
Enemy
this
troops
mark.
identified. Do you copy? Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Hey, thanks. Hostile infantry spotted. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Over. Roger that.